Hello there, good people on YouTube. Gabi here again. Today with a short guitar repair video of this archtop Thinline Hollowbody acoustic guitar by Eco. I will have to do some research on it, but I thought it was a German company. I don't know yet. And this guitar was given to me by a student of our school who bought it secondhand somewhere in a flea market or wherever. And he asked me whether I could have a look at it and its issues and try to fix them. So I said yes, but I also told him that I would turn it into a YouTube video. So this is the guitar in question, and it has some issues. Some are structural, some are just cosmetic, and I think I will only work on the structural issues because I don't feel like investing so much in this guitar. On the one hand, that's the one reason, and the other thing is it's, I think, an older guitar, and it can have some dings and dongs and some little cracks in the lacquer that only adds to the charm of the instrument. But before I'm going to show you the issues of this guitar and explain how I'm attempting to, or how I will be attempting to fix them, I want to introduce you to this little game I came up with to entertain my friends. If you have music-loving friends, you can take a guitar and completely have it out of tune, and then you play songs to them and they have to guess what the songs are. So in this detuned fashion you play, and of course they cannot see your fretting hand, and they have to guess what song it is. I even thought about including that in my videos for some fun. We will see. But now we're going into the depth of the analysis of this guitar and what's wrong with it, and for that you need to come a little closer. So let's get started. So the first thing that's wrong with this guitar is obviously there's a hole here in the back, and the guitar obviously has taken a serious blow, either to some pointed object, or the object came towards the guitar, or it has dropped on this object, which is most likely the case, I think, because along or around the guitar I can see, I hope you can see it in the video. Let me see if I can show you that on the other side, because I think there we can very clearly see it. There are some cracks in the lacquer running all the way along the guitar, but if I try to move the wood underneath it, it doesn't seem to move. So it seems like the cracks are in the lacquer but not in the wood of the guitar, at least in most parts. If we take a closer look at the neck, and let's take the camera, maybe the light is better from the other side if I show you that. So let's go closer here. Maybe, baby, I don't know if you can see it or if you can't. Here. There are also the cracks here. You can see the dark line coming from the neck, going all the way up the neck to the head plate in the end. I'm not sure if these are mainly cracks in the lacquer. I think so, but there are also some worrying things here, and I need to inspect that in order to find out what's going on, because here you can see that beneath this neck plate there is also a sign of a crack, and the same goes for the neck pocket here itself. So I don't know, here you can see these crack lines again. I don't think, at least not in the neck itself, it is structural, but here it might be structural, because you can also see that the top here, the bracing is shifted a bit, and in this part maybe it hasn't come loose, but here it seems like I will have to put in a razor blade to, I can put in my fingernail under the bracing. Let's see if I can, yeah, I can get in there. So most likely the top has come off here, most definitely, though on the other side here you can see it with the bare eye, or with the naked eye, that the top has come off. So I think this guitar dropped, and has these issues now. I will have to check out whether that thing with the neck is structural or not here. You can also see a crack line. Well, I will see that when I dismantle the guitar. And of course there is this position marker missing, and then it has very, very sharp fret ends, and also the frets are not in the best state anymore. It's a guitar with 0 fret, and to me it seems, maybe I'm wrong, like somebody has put in a new top for the nuts here. Maybe not. Okay, so first I will have to dismantle the whole guitar, and here you can see the line running through the neck. I hope it's not structural, because I don't feel like repairing all of that, because in all fairness, I've got other projects, so if I can make this playable and enjoyable again for him, that should be good enough. So the first thing that I will be dealing with is this big fat hole here in the back. Let me show you that and what my plan for this is. So this here is laminate, as you can obviously see. My plan for this is to get as much material as I can back up again, and then seal it first with some epoxy. After that, I will drill a hole here for my circle cutter, and my plan is to cut out a circle here to clean this whole area up, and then make a circle patch to go in that. I will not cut out the circle all the way through the wood, but only like halfway in or so, so that I still have some surface to glue my patch to. The next thing that I will, of course, do is glue back, here we are, glue the top back on here. You can easily see that I can put in this, where are we? Here. This razor blade and pry it open, so I can also get in some glue and fix the whole thing this way, clamp it together. Then I will look after these cracks here, whether they are structural or just in the lacquer, and I definitely will have to deal with what's going on with the neck here. So let's get started with these steps in the process of healing that guitar a bit so that it's playable again. Okay, there's this other thing about the tuners. They are, as I twist them, you can see that they're bent and not in the best shape. Maybe I will have to replace them, but of course first I'll look if I can fix them, because again they suit the old-fashioned style here very well. So let's see what we can do with them and the rest of the guitar. Let's get started with the strings. And I know it's time to let it go now. Bam. So, after having taken off the neck, you can clearly see that the top has come off here, and also the sides came off from the neck block here. Here it's only a bit, and the crack goes just as far as here, but then again on the other end. So here it has come loose on the neck block extension as well. If I can show you that, maybe you can go in here. So here we can see that quite clearly. So this part of the top here has come off. This part of the sides has come off. Let me see, we're good here with the other side. And of course, as I showed you in the beginning, we've got a long crack going along here. So that's the first thing that I will fix a bit. So first I try to get in some sandpaper in order to get rid of whatever might be keeping me from pressing that together again. And then I will put in some glue in the different places, clamp it together. Then I will have a second round of inspecting all the way around the guitar if there are more cracks that need to be addressed. So for these things here, I might very well judge that these are only in the lacquer, not in the wood. For the cracks that I have seen here in the neck, let me show you the back of the hot plate there. You can see it really well. For these things here, and they're running all the way, all the way back here. That might also be that that might also be that some moisture has come in through the holes, and then the cracks develop from that. I've had that with earlier times when I build my guitars and I lacquered them, that particularly from these places when the moisture can get under the lacquer, you would find these cracks developing. So I can't find anything structurally not in place and perfectly all right, so I'll leave that as is, and I will just take care of the body now. And the steps are, as I said, gluing that all back on, cleaning it, gluing it all back on, and then I will tend to this big hole here in the back, and that should be most of the work. Of course, I will give it a good clean, and when I put in my round patch here, then I will have to lacquer over that, maybe a layer. Okay, the cracks in the back look good too, not like they're really cracks. Okay, except for this one, but this has to do with the neck pocket thing. I will take a look here and see if I need to re-glue that too. So let's get started with that. Okay. I know, my dear, I know. So can we get in here somehow? Yes, thank you. So, my dear, that's the first thing. We're going down. But you can see it too. We're going down. I know that you do. Tja, das wäre schön, wenn da noch rankommt. Jetzt nehmen und jetzt den Deckel drauf. Dann nochmal eine von da. Yes, yes, my dear, it's not so easy. It's so easy to fall in love. Fall in love. It's so easy. So that's part number one. So the next thing we have here is the neck and the fretboard. It has sharp ends all the way along the fretboard. Of course, this is due to the fact that this fretboard hasn't seen love or care in a long time. It is also very rough and you can feel the pores of the wood. And I've already started scratching here a bit in order to find out what kind of material it is. I'm relatively certain it is not rosewood. I was worried that it might be wood that is just a light colored wood and then they stained it, but that's not a fact. As a matter of fact, I think that this might be a Wingay fretboard, because if you take a look at the wood here and the sawdust it makes, I think might be Wingay. So I'm going for cleaning all the frets with a razor blade, make it very smooth, and then I will use fine sandpaper because I really don't feel like refretting the guitar. I hate that job. I think, except for the 0 fret here, we have here, most of them still have enough material for being just crowned again, and I can get the nicks and whatever is there out by just recrowning them and polishing them, because I don't feel like refretting the whole guitar. I hate that job, and it's too much effort for this one. And since there is enough material left of the old ones, I just go for that approach. So what I'll do is I'll simply clamp this here to the table and then clean each of the frets from the gunk and whatever is there with a fresh and sharp razor blade, and then we will see where I go from there. Okay, let's get started with that. So it already feels a lot better. So, into that. Okay. So by the way, I don't have to hate the fretting. I just hate the fretwork later. Okay, that feels a lot better too. I just had to think of a comment about how a friend of mine feels about this work, which I can't say on YouTube. Så till det. So after having glued the top back on, the next thing is dealing with this hole here. As I said before, my plan is to kind of close the fibers with this tool so that the epoxy glue that I'm going to put in here won't sink through. And to me it seems, due to the fact that it is a archtop guitar, there is some material left here. There's only a crack where I can go all the way through. So I'm trying to pull these fibers up and put some of the material on the crack here, like some the epoxy in place. So my original idea was to use a circle cutter to cut out a circle here and to replace it with a patch. Due to the fact that this is not an even surface, I'm not so sure if that plan will work easily anymore, but I'm still continuing with it because I thought even if it's not an even surface, I might very well build a little frame here so that my circle cutter can write on an even surface. So I will level that out somehow with shims or whatever, and this is still the way to go. But no matter, there's a bigger hole here, no matter which way I am choosing, I will have to fill this hole so that I can drill a new hole for my center pin of my circle cutter. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to pull up the bent in fibers, as you can see here. It looked well in the beginning, but then it flapped back. It flipped back, not flapped. So I think this is the best I can go, and I will use these pieces to close the holes so that the epoxy won't go all the way through and end in nowhere land. I mean, it's a very highly viscous, it has a high viscosity, whatever the word is. So it has a high viscosity, the glue, and I hope it kind of does the job and will stay in place and not go everywhere inside the guitar, because then I would have to think of another way of patching this up. Maybe I can put in a little piece of wood here. Maybe I should put in some filler substance too. I mean, this doesn't look nice, but since I will cover it anyway, okay, that's not too bad. Maybe some more shavings of wood. Maybe a few shavings from mahogany, like here. Maybe, maybe that will work if I put a bit in this hole. Let's see. Upsala. Oh, das war ja auch schlau. Let's see if that makes. It's not too bad. Okay. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, maybe another piece here. So then you think the sun is about you and you're so vain. So my dear, let's see. Maybe we can close the door. Ooh. Okay. So that doesn't seem too bad. And maybe so that I don't need too much epoxy. Another one here. So again, this is not supposed to look pretty. It's just filling material. Okay. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, this goes in here. So that's not too bad. So that's not too bad. Ta-da. Okay. Yeah. If the cold wind blows in the ghetto. So the epoxy has cured enough, and I was just about to cut my circle when I realized that that wouldn't be working due to the fact that the circle cutter needs a hole. That's not a problem for the part I would be routing out here. But for the patch I'm making, so I would have the hole in the center. So that won't work, and instead I now decided to go more for a rectangular patch, route out the surface here and then make a patch for that. And for this I built myself this little Jenga-like construction so that my router can run on hopefully solid enough surface to cut it. So let's see, that doesn't seem to be deep enough here. Go a bit deeper. Let's see. Yeah, maybe baby. Maybe baby. Let's give it a go. But very nice. So the piece of wood that I chose for my patch is a bit too dark, but that's what it is now. And I don't feel like changing that or putting more work into it. It was bad enough that I had to send it all back. But the moment you start sanding, at least in my experience, that means normally you have to take off all the lacquer, otherwise you will get discolorations. So And that's what I get. Looks like some battery compartment. Well, anyway, so I rubbed it down with alcohol, let it dry, and then there will be a couple of coats of clear lacquer. So, go here. Okay. Num 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 num. So here we are with the finally finished guitar. It took me a bit longer than I thought it would take me because there were more things to do than I wanted to do, and I did things that I didn't want to do, and I had other things to do. But here it is, finally finished. So I needed to repair the loose top on this guitar, glue it back on in the right position so that we would get a correct neck angle for the neck pocket. I cleaned the fretboard, put in a new fret marker. I did a fret job, which I actually didn't want to do on this cheaper guitar. And I fixed the back issue it had with this major hole that it had here. I didn't use a patch that actually matched this this piece of mahogany perfectly, but in the end I put more effort in than I wanted to, and I sanded down the whole back, which was no fun. Re-sprayed it, sanded it, polished it, so that the back at least looks a lot better than it did before. I didn't do anything in that regard to the sides and the top except for polishing it. I didn't repair all the minor cracks or chips or whatever. And it is, as I suspected in the beginning, this is not the world's greatest guitar ever. It's an all laminate or actually plywood guitar, and it's a Thinline acoustic. I didn't even know what kind of strings to put on to bring out enough sound of it, but I think it's just in the nature of these instruments that they don't produce. They don't produce a lot of sound, but it's dear to its owner, and I'm going to take it back to school so that he can pick it up tomorrow. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more about guitar building, learn more about guitar building, and watch more about guitar building, I like to recommend Daniel Wallace's YouTube channel to you. He's better known to the world of guitar builders as Devil and Sons Guitars, and he has created, together with a couple of other luthiers, I'd call them, the Guitar Builders Collective, and with that there is a weekly chat that's coming along, and he has moved all the chats into an archive, and I think it's worth watching not only my episode, which I will link to you down there in the description, but all of the other episodes, and they're talking about guitar building, guitar related things. Maybe you will find out things that you have always wanted to know by watching it. Give it some love, please, share it, and in the meantime, stay healthy, enjoy, and please don't forget to be a good person. Bye.